Welcome to the amazing world where tiny babies grow and prepare for life after birth. This app will help you track and share your progress, see what your baby looks like, and celebrate what your baby is doing throughout pregnancy. Your journey together begins at fertilization, as your baby grows from embryo to fetus to precious newborn. Along the way, you will see the beating heart, developing brain, early eye, and emerging fingers. You will also see some fancy footwork, the startle response, a variety of facial expressions, and much more. Enjoy the journey and let's get started. By 4 weeks, the clear amnion surrounds the embryo in a fluid-filled sac. This sterile liquid, called amniotic fluid, protects the baby from injury throughout pregnancy. The heart typically beats about 113 times per minute. Note how the heart changes color as blood enters and leaves its chambers with each beat. The heart will beat approximately 54 million times before birth. Between 4 and 5 weeks, the brain forms 5 distinct sections. The head comprises 1/3 of the baby's total size. Note the massive liver adjacent to the beating heart. The permanent kidneys appear by 5 weeks. The embryo also develops hand plates, followed by cartilage formation. Here we see the left hand plate and left wrist. The baby begins to move spontaneously and reflexively. Movement is necessary to promote normal development. A touch to the mouth area causes the baby to reflexively withdraw its head. The external ear is beginning to take shape. By 6 weeks, blood cells are forming in the liver where lymphocytes are now present. Lymphocytes are a key part of the immune system. The diaphragm, the primary breathing muscle, is largely formed by 6 weeks. A portion of the intestine now protrudes temporarily into the umbilical cord. This normal process, called physiologic herniation, makes room for other developing organs in the abdomen. At 6 weeks, the hand plates develop a subtle flattening. Primitive brain waves have been recorded as early as 6 weeks and 2 days. By 6.5 weeks, the elbows are distinct, the fingers are beginning to separate, and hand movement can be seen. Hiccups have been observed by 7 weeks. Leg movements can now be seen, along with a startle response. The 4-chambered heart is largely complete. On average, the heart now beats 167 times per minute. Electrical activity of the heart recorded at 7.5 weeks reveals a wave pattern similar to the adults. In baby girls, the ovaries are identifiable by 7 weeks. By 7.5 weeks, the pigmented retina of the eye is easily seen, and the eyelids are beginning a period of rapid growth. Fingers are separate, and toes are joined only at the bases. The hands can now come together, as can the feet. Knee joints are also present. At 8 weeks, the brain is highly complex and constitutes almost half of the embryo's total body weight. Growth continues at an extraordinary rate. By 8 weeks, 75% of babies exhibit right-hand dominance. The remainder is equally divided between left-handed dominance and no preference. This is the earliest evidence of right or left-handed behavior. The baby is becoming more physically active during this time. Motions may be slow or rapid, single or repetitive, spontaneous or reflexive. Head rotation, neck extension, and hand-to-face contact occur more often. Touching the embryo elicits squinting, jaw movement, grasping motions, and toe pointing. Between 7 and 8 weeks, the upper and lower eyelids rapidly grow over the eyes and partially fuse together. Although there is no air in the uterus, the embryo displays intermittent breathing motions by 8 weeks. By this time, kidneys produce urine, which is released into the amniotic fluid. In baby boys, the developing testes begin to produce and release testosterone. The relative positions of all major components of the arms and legs closely resemble those in adults. By 8 weeks, the epidermis, or outer skin, loses much of its transparency. Eyebrows grow as hair appears around the mouth. 8 weeks marks the end of the embryonic period. During this time, the developing baby has grown from a single cell into nearly 1 billion cells, which form more than 4,000 distinct anatomic structures. By 9 weeks, thumb sucking begins and the fetus can swallow amniotic fluid. The baby can also grasp an object, move the head forward and back, open and close the jaw, move the tongue, sigh, and stretch. Nerve receptors in the face, the palms of the hands, and the soles of the feet can sense light touch. In response to a light touch on the sole of the foot, the baby will bend the hip and knee and may curl the toes. The eyelids are now completely closed. In the larynx, the appearance of vocal ligaments signals the onset of vocal cord development. A burst of growth between 9 and 10 weeks increases body weight by more than 75%. By 10 weeks, stimulation of the upper eyelid causes a downward rolling of the eyes. The fetus yawns and often opens and closes the mouth. Most babies suck the right thumb. Sections of intestine within the umbilical cord are returning to the abdominal cavity. Ossification is underway in most bones. Fingernails and toenails begin to develop. Unique fingerprints begin forming by 10 weeks. These patterns can be used for identification throughout life.